Today we're going to explore an intriguing concept, the idea that there's a universal force or consciousness that communicates with us, often referred to as the source. This term might sound abstract or mystical to some, and it's often equated with various names like God, the universe, or a higher power, depending on one's spiritual or cultural background. Our discussion will not lean into any specific religion or philosophy, but rather, we'll consider how this concept of the source can play a significant role in our lives. Understanding. The source isn't about uncovering a hidden secret. It's about recognizing and tuning into a frequency that has always been part of our existence. Whether you've felt it as a gut feeling or a whisper in the back of your mind, today's conversation aims to shed light on these subtle, yet profound interactions. By the end of this session, you'll have a better grasp of how to attune yourself to the signals the source sends and how to interpret these messages in your daily life. Let's start by looking into what we mean by the source. This term, though widely varied in its interpretations, essentially refers to an all-encompassing energy or intelligence that exists beyond the physical realm. It's an underlying force that connects all things and orchestrates events in ways that often seem coincidental or serendipitous to us. In many cultures and spiritual practices, the source is seen as the essence of life itself, the bedrock of all existence. It's not confined to any single belief system, but is a universal concept that transcends religious and cultural boundaries. For some, this might be an energy they connect with through prayer or meditation. For others, it might be a sense of connectedness with nature or the universe. Understanding the source is crucial because it helps us comprehend our place in the cosmos. It's not about worshiping a deity or following a set of rules. It's about recognizing that we are part of a vast, interconnected web. By acknowledging the source, we open ourselves up to its guidance and wisdom, which can lead us to make more informed and enlightened decisions. The communication from the source often comes through subtle channels. It could be the sudden insight you get when solving a problem, the instinct that tells you to take a different route home, or even the timely appearance of a helpful person in your life. These are not mere coincidences. They are the ways through which the source speaks to us. Learning to listen and interpret these signs requires patience and openness, but the rewards can be transformative, providing clarity and direction in our often chaotic lives. We will look at how we can better listen to these communications, the common barriers that prevent us from hearing them, and practical steps we can take to enhance our connection with the force. Stay tuned as we explore making this invisible communication visible and accessible in our daily lives. Now that we have a foundational understanding of the source, let's explore how it communicates with us. It's important to recognize that the source doesn't use words or direct messages. Instead, it communicates through signs and symbols that are often embedded in our everyday experiences. These signs can be as subtle as a recurring number that catches your eye, or as significant as a sudden, unexplainable feeling of peace or certainty in a moment of confusion. For instance, think about a time when you were thinking about someone, and suddenly, out of the blue, you received a call or a message from them. Or consider those moments when you're faced with a decision, and you stumble upon an article, a book, or even overhear a conversation that contains exactly the wisdom you needed. These are not random occurrences. They are meaningful signs that the source is guiding you, nudging you towards choices that align with your highest good. Recognizing these signs is the first step. The next, which is equally important, is learning to interpret what they mean. This isn't about finding a one-size-fits-all answer, but about understanding how these signs relate to your personal life and circumstances. It requires you to be observant, to pause and reflect rather than rushing through your day-to-day life. By paying attention to these signs and learning to interpret them, you begin to develop a deeper, more personal connection with the source. enhancing your ability to make decisions that are in tune with your deepest values and aspirations. Enhancing your ability to listen to the source requires specific skills, much like developing any other skill in life. It starts with cultivating silence both externally and internally. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, finding moments of quiet is crucial. Silence creates a space for the source to speak. It's during these quiet moments that you're most likely to notice the subtle signs we talked about earlier. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools in this endeavor. They help you calm the mind and reduce the internal chatter that often drowns out the subtle messages from the source. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to live in the present moment, making it easier to notice and appreciate the signs that are all around you. Another key aspect of listening is being open and receptive. This means letting go of preconceived notions and biases that can cloud your interpretation of the signs you receive. It involves a level of trust and acceptance, sometimes accepting that not all messages will be clear immediately. Patience plays a vital role here, as does a willingness to see beyond the obvious and explore deeper meanings. While you practice these listening skills, you'll find that your ability to hear and understand the source improves. Over time, this becomes a natural part of your daily life, just as you learn to recognize the voice of a close friend in a crowded room. It's a skill that not only enhances your spiritual connection, but also enriches your overall quality of life, providing guidance and insight in countless ways. By building on the foundational understanding of the source and practicing the skills to interpret its signs, you are setting the stage for a richer, more connected life. As we move forward, we'll discuss the common barriers that might hinder this connection and how you can overcome them to maintain a clear channel of communication with the source. While the journey to connect with the source is enlightening, it's not without its challenges. There are several barriers that can impede our ability to hear and understand the communications from the source. One of the most common barriers is mental noise. Our minds are often flooded with thoughts, worries, and distractions that can drown out the subtle messages intended for us. This mental clutter can stem from our busy lives, where multitasking and constant stimulation have become the norm. Another significant barrier is skepticism. It's natural to question the unknown, and at times, the signs from the source might seem too coincidental or vague to be true. This skepticism can create a mental block that prevents us from acknowledging the signs as genuine communications. Fear is also a major obstacle. Sometimes, the messages we receive may suggest a need for change that we find daunting or frightening. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or even fear of stepping out of our comfort zones can prevent us from acting on the guidance we receive. Overcoming these barriers requires a conscious effort. Reducing mental noise can be achieved through regular practices that quiet the mind, such as meditation, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that require focus and calm. Addressing skepticism might involve keeping an open mind and allowing for possibilities beyond our current understanding. And to overcome fear, it often helps to start with small steps, gradually building confidence in the guidance we are receiving and its positive impacts on our lives. Throughout history, many cultures and spiritual traditions have acknowledged the existence of a universal communicating force similar to what we call the Source. While we won't look into specific personal stories, it's beneficial to recognize that this concept isn't new or isolated. In many spiritual texts and teachings, there are references to prophets, seers, and sages who communicated with a higher power or divine intelligence. These accounts often highlight individuals receiving guidance and wisdom that aided them in leading others or making significant decisions. These historical references serve as a testament to the universality and timelessness of the Source's communication. They remind us that the ability to connect with and understand this communication is not reserved for the chosen few, but is accessible to everyone. Each culture has its methods and practices for fostering this connection, whether through prayer, meditation, rituals, or contemplative walks in nature. Recognizing these universal patterns helps us appreciate the broader context of our personal experiences with the Source. It shows us that our efforts to connect are part of a larger human endeavor to seek wisdom and guidance beyond our immediate perception. While we continue, we will explore practical exercises that can enhance your communication with the Source, helping you to not only receive, but also to interpret and act on the guidance provided. Communicating with the Source is not just about receiving guidance, it's about personal transformation. Engaging with this profound connection can significantly influence your understanding of yourself and the world around you. It empowers you to grow and evolve in ways that align more closely with your true essence and purpose. The impact of this communication on personal growth can be profound. When you start to align your actions with the guidance received from the Source, you often find that your life begins to change. Challenges become opportunities for growth, and decisions start to feel more intuitive and aligned with your deeper values. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that is hard to achieve through external achievements alone. This connection encourages self-reflection. It prompts you to question and examine your beliefs, values, and the motivations behind your actions. This self-inquiry is a vital component of personal growth, as it leads to greater self-awareness and ultimately to making choices that are true to your authentic self. To enhance your communication with the Source and facilitate this kind of personal growth, there are several practical exercises you can adopt. First, journaling is an excellent way to track and reflect on the signs and messages you believe you are receiving. Regularly writing down your thoughts and experiences helps you identify patterns and insights that might not be obvious at first glance. Setting intentions is another powerful practice. At the beginning of each day or before meditating, clearly state what guidance you are seeking or what area of your life you wish to receive help with. This practice not only clarifies your thoughts, but also sets a clear frequency for receiving specific guidance. Asking for guidance before you sleep can be particularly effective. The quiet and relaxed state of mind just before sleep is an ideal time to communicate with the Source. It's a moment when the conscious mind is less dominant, allowing the subconscious and its connection to the Source to come forward. Upon waking, you may find that answers or clarity come to you more easily, often revealing insights that can guide your decisions. As we conclude our exploration of how to listen closely to the Source trying to communicate with us, remember that this process is deeply personal and continuously evolving. The techniques and insights discussed today are starting points. The true depth of this communication unfolds uniquely for each individual, influenced by personal openness, practice, and the willingness to engage with the unseen. Keep nurturing your ability to listen and interpret the subtle signs from the Source. Practice the exercises shared, like journaling your experiences, setting daily intentions, and inviting guidance into your meditative or pre-sleep routines. As you incorporate these practices into your life, you'll likely notice an increase in occurrences where you feel guided, supported, or simply more aligned with your inner truth. Thank you for joining me in this journey to better understand and connect with the universal communication that surrounds us all. Keep listening, keep reflecting, and most importantly, stay open to the possibilities that await when you truly tune in to the Source. If you found value in today's discussion and wish to look deeper into understanding and enhancing your connection with the Source, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you enjoyed the content, and share it with anyone who might benefit from learning more about these spiritual connections.